Thank you LEGO for sending this set for review. The biggest LEGO Ideas set ever done is here, the River Steamboat, with a whopping 4,000 pieces piece count, a size to match that number, lots of unexpected functions, and doing all of that while highlighting an icon from the 19th century. Is it too niche? Is it too big? Let's find out. The building instructions will treat us with the usual info about the fan designer, his model, and some historical facts about river steamboats. The LEGO designer, however, is nowhere to be seen, which is a shame. Seems to be the trend going forward, though. As for the model itself, at 69 centimeters or 27 inches in length, makes for a really impressive sized model. Still dwarfed by the LEGO Titanic, about the same size as the LEGO Endurance, and completely dwarfing the Durmstrang ship from Harry Potter. I don't think ship enthusiasts have reasons to complain about the lack of LEGO ships anymore. Poor train fans. There's a small stand to display the steamboat, but depending on the angle you look at the model, you hardly see it, so I do wonder if it was really necessary. The fact that the steamboat rests on the stand also gets in the way of triggering its coolest function, where sliding the vehicle across a flat surface will make the pedals work as they would in real life. Granted, you could also trigger the function while the steamboat rests on the stand, but that's not as cool in my opinion. It was also one of the last details you built with the model, alongside the stand and the loading ramp, so they do save the best for last, which is a cool reward type experience you get when building this, even when you're not the biggest LEGO Technic fan in the world. Speaking of the loading ramps, those can be found at the front, and all of the strings and Technic connections probably gave it away, as here we can also find another of the model's functions, where a pair of gears on the Texas deck will lift them with ease. Lowering them can be done with gravity alone, and I figured that some sort of clutch would be needed so that the ramps don't hopelessly fall down like they do here. They're also connected to the main deck via turntable elements, which makes it possible to turn them sideways to load or unload passengers and cargo depending on the dock's location. The way the strings are kept in place with these espresso plates going through cross-axle bricks makes it so that the excess string is just loose here. Same with the string used for the smokestacks, a big chunk of it actually, which doesn't look too tidy for me. The effect, however, of the single string going there all the way to these masts and back looks really good. Now, since we're up here, might as well disclose yet another function, where turning this round assembly in the front makes the steering wheel of the wheelhouse also turn. But that's not the end of it, as you can see some axles transferring the movement downwards, and in a very cool engineering feat, the turning movement of the wheel at the top is transferred all the way down to the steamboat's rudder. You hardly get to see behind the pedal, which is also very cool. But wait, there's more! At the front, a very simplistic mechanism in comparison lets us lower the anchor like so, which isn't all that impressive considering all we've seen so far. Aesthetically speaking, I do think that the 19th century feel comes across real nice, with the color choices for the different decks, dark tan and brown, same for the whole pieces at the base, but also all of the white for supports and railings, the wooden plank look on the sides, the boat's name on a printed tile referencing the fan designer's daughter name, or my favorite, the white croissants on top of those dark blue corner tiles. I've also mentioned the smokestacks before, and there's also some flags, but there's a lot more going on for the model on the interior, which I will now show you. The different decks and floors come off, starting with the wheelhouse, and notice how the axle is showing from below. The reason the movement for the rudder can be transferred, while the decks can still come apart, with a lot of it being credited to this new piece. In here we get to see a very tight bathroom and bedroom with bunk beds, somewhat scaled to minifigures. Removing this deck reveals the main deck where the restaurant is located, using lots of interesting piece choices as well as upside down 4x4 plates for the tables, both for keeping things in place, but also for a bit of a pattern there which looks cool. There's a bit of a corridor with 2 tiles with stickers on the wall, one for the menu and another with a poster for the music show that will take place later, which I do think references the Jazz Quartet LEGO Ideas set. In the back, the bar/music stage with the instruments in place and ready to be played. I do like the fact that the smokestacks can also be seen here, right below where their top sections will be, which is consistent in the boiler deck as well, crossing the tight kitchen area there. The boiler room is a bit of a history lesson into steam engines, where a model of a James Watt steam engine lies. Over here, the Heliopile, an ancient Roman device believed to be the first steam engine, and right next to it, a simple working piston engine. There's some cool stickers in this room, one for the piston engine schematics and another for the steamboat's blueprint, which would have been amazing as prints. Next to the blueprint space, there's a lot of mechanisms going on that mimic the way real steam engines would work in steamboats. The reason why, when you turn the pedal outside, all of these will also work, which is, once again, really cool to see. And here is the last part of the axle that transfers the movement to the rudder. Under here there's one of these gearbox pieces, as the one included in the box was completely bent and warped, which made it impossible for the mechanism to work. I even tried to force it into place by placing bricks everywhere, hoping for the best, but it still wouldn't do. So I had to cannibalize the Dancing Groot set for a replacement to be able to make this review. Rest in pieces, buddy. It is, however, a big miss on quality control on LEGO's hand that you don't usually see that often. After I got over that hurdle, building the set was really enjoyable from a building experience perspective. Lots of studs not on top techniques going on, and although a fair bit of repetition can be seen in some places, it was cleverly mixed in with building the mechanisms, some of the interior details, or smart piece uses. It also took a fair amount of time to put together. It is over 4,000 pieces after all, and when you think you're about to be done with the model, you're then building all of the different decks, paddle and docking ramps, so there is a lot to like about this model. And that includes the price. $330 is obviously a lot of money, but for everything you get out of it, including the piece count, I feel you get your money's worth. If you care about steamboats at all, that is, as this model is, at the end of the day, something incredibly niche that may not appeal to everybody's tastes. For a price perspective, the Star Wars Jabba's sail barge at around the same piece count retails for $500, so yeah, there's that. Would love to know what you all think about this LEGO Ideas River Steamboat set, available starting April 7th, links for purchase in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.